Welcome to an Oasis podcast. In this episode, we meet one of our latest Oasis members. The fourth episode of season 2. I present to you the Doctor of Melee, Dr. Lame. Tell us about yourself.
Yeah, I like that nickname. I don't know if I can use it due to the player PPMD. I think he calls himself the Doctor too.
Oh
He's going
no.
back to PP. But the only longtime Smash viewers will know PPMD. But Doctor of Melee is
Hmm.
sick. But yeah, I'm from Maine in the Banga Maine
Hmm.
area with the Maine accent. I've been playing Melee since my freshman year of college, which was as wild to say in 2017. That's 6 years ago now, and I don't like that it's 6 years ago now. But I started my freshman year of college, didn't take it very seriously for a year or two, and then started taking it seriously and quickly became
Hmm.
PR'd in the state a year after. Well, my first tournament, a couple months after switching to Marth, got PR'd the following season.
Yeah.
Been ranked ever since, and now recently have held number 1 for multiple seasons in a row.
Hmm.
And it was recognized on the New England Top 50 as 22nd, though I found out that on the official PR I was put on 20, but they only show the top 15. And I thought I should have been 20 on the official top 50, but there was different balloters and stuff like that. So I'll just say I'm like in the 20s
Hmm.
in New England ranked. When I play ranked online, I've been in the 150 range. I've been on like some top 200 lists. So I'm like in. Oh, some people know me. I'm like kind of like one of those players who's not really known as an up and coming player in terms of like soon to be top 100 players, but definitely known as like a regional threat.
Okay. Yeah, I did see that New England ranking. At least looked through the bracket. I don't think I've seen the actual PR, the proper thing, because I know you calculate it through like a different method.
Yeah, so the bracket
Hmm.
is like an elo that
Yeah,
tournaments are
yeah.
just put into. But with 1v1 games, elo is kind of weird. You get this big
Hmm.
fish, small pond problem. So if I just go to tournaments over and over again and I never play like a good player, I can just steal elo from all the bad players and become a really high rank. So there was a time where the Vermont player Lewis was like third on the bracket, but on the final PR he was honorable mention, which is like 16th or 17th, because he had no sets against the other people in the PR. He was just
Hmm.
farming Vermont. Um, the actual PRs last season, Melee Stats made a top 50 under Edwin Budding, made a top 50 for New England. That was like on top of the New England PR. That was just a fun little thing he did, because New England is like one of those scenes with a lot of mid-level players, a lot of depth to the amount of talent in the scene compared to our amount of top players. So other scenes will have like three or four, five, six top 100 players, a couple up and comers, and then it gets really bad really fast. Whereas New England, we have like one or two top 100 players, a shit ton of regional threats, like 30 deep, and then we start getting to like more of the bad players. So it's like New England's a little bit unique in that. I think it's just due to the population density. We have so many people who are good, but then we don't have a lot of
Hmm.
majors or big events that everyone travels to, so we don't have a lot of people hitting that top
Yeah,
100
yeah.
because we have to travel outside our region, which is weird because our region is so population dense. But I think it's expensive to host tournaments in New England.
Hmm. Okay. Are you a tournament organizer in New England as well, or?
So I would say right now I would say no.
Hmm. Okay.
But over the years I've been a heavy tournament organizer. I've organized over 100 tournaments.
Ooh.
There's a time like in 2018, 2019 where I was hosting two weeklies and a monthly um, in Waterville and the Bangor area, and I've been involved with almost every monthly that's been hosted. I still like, I mean, I've still ran brackets at events, like reading brackets, calling matches while competing in the tournament. I did that just last year at a charity tournament. And I've done that actually the last two monthlies that were huge in Maine that I went to. I won both of them while running bracket. And one of them I won without dropping a game, which was really sick. It was my highest achievement last season for sure. I beat Stacey's stepdad, Jay Willie, who hasn't been competing a lot recently, but was North Carolina PR, and then Meat, who was a North Carolina PR Marth. Uh, and then
Hmm.
I beat someone else I don't remember, but I beat them all without dropping a game. It was actually Lavender's first tournament in
Oh
person.
wow. Wait,
Yeah,
when was this? When was this?
this was just last season, so I think it was like
Oh.
November of
Okay.
last year, December,
Wait, how long
January. I
does a
can't
season last?
usually. usually 4 to 6 months.
Okay.
We kind of play it by ear, so COVID has messed it up a lot. Where we keep like extending seasons because of COVID breakouts, so we can't have enough events.
Hmm.
But ideally, we have like a spring, summer PR and a fall, winter PR to try and
Okay.
catch those school breaks in each PR.
And you're doing really well. Just you still got that top one. Amazing
I
to
still
see.
top one on the elo. I
Hmm.
need to play
Yeah.
against Stacy Stepdad. That's like I don't have a set against
Hmm.
Stacy Stepdad in tournament, like on paper. I play him in friendlies and stuff and money matches, and I've won like 3 or 4 money matches since then. But I haven't like done it on paper. And Edgeporp has beaten Stacy Stepdad on paper.
Oh,
So if we were to
okay.
make a ranking, even though I've lost to nobody, right? I've won all my sets. Actually, I lost to Throne Butt with my Falcon with my secondary, which so that doesn't count. But I still won that tournament, and I won a tournament with my Fox instead of my Marsh. But so if we look at the ranking right now, Edgeporp would be number one because he has sets against Stacy Stepdad. He's won 2 sets against
Hmm.
Stacy Stepdad. Has played other players in the region, haven't lost.
Hmm.
He doesn't have as much data as other people, but just the fact he's played the current best player,
Yeah.
who goes to stuff. Like Stacey Stepdad is the best active player, like in terms of like attending stuff almost every week and going out of state. So I need a set win against Stacey Stepdad, and just one set win is enough to put me at number one because I have so much more data than Edgeport. But I think it's unfair
Hmm.
for me not to have played 2 and 3 on the ranking when they've played each other. I played Catfish and I 3-0'd Catfish, but I haven't played Stacey Stepdad this season.
Have you played against Edupop?
Not this season. Our last, so we've
Hmm.
played a lot online, and online, I would say he beats me like 60% of the time online tournaments. But we haven't had online tournaments since I've gotten better in like a year or two. And then in person, he won our first set back in 2018. And then when I was number one in the state, we played, and I won a set, lost a set, won a set, so I won the tournament over him. It was
Yeah.
actually my first weekly I ever won over Stacy's stepdad was because Edgeport double eliminated Stacy's stepdad for me.
Yeah, Edupop is doing really well this season. They've really climbed up. Yeah. Nice
Yeah,
to
I
see.
like right now I feel like I would just like based off how our friendlies
Hmm.
go, I like don't lose any friendlies when we play. I feel like
Yeah,
I would
yeah, yeah,
destroy them.
yeah.
Like I feel the best I've ever been at the video game in terms of
Hmm.
like
Question,
mentality,
question.
how I approach. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Don't want to misgender anyone. Is it is it they or he for Edupop?
Edgeport goes by he him. I'm like
Okay.
90% sure.
Right. Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, when does this season end? Because it can't be too long, right?
I think sometime in October.
Okay, so you still got quite a bit of time to catch up. Okay.
Yeah, I just need to like
Hmm.
drive to a BLR, which is
Yeah.
actually going to be hard this month because I'm going to Seattle, Washington. But
So what's it called? If you beat Edupop, will that count the same as Stacy's
yeah,
stepdad
that would count
or?
the same as like
Oh,
it
okay.
would just put me at one. But Edgeporp is at school now, so he's not even in the state
Oh no,
anymore.
he's dodging. He's dodging.
Yeah, he's dodging. He graduates this spring. This is his last year of college, so then
Okay.
he'll be back in Maine.
Hmm. It's a really nice place. I've seen some really nice pictures of it. But yeah.
Oh, it's beautiful. People
Hmm.
are nice. It's a good place. It's a good place to live. It's just the only
Yeah.
thing is like stuff closes early.
Hmm.
There's not really like a big. The only nightlife scene is in Portland. That's the only place where you're gonna get city type amenities. And Portland doesn't even feel like Maine compared to other parts of Maine. So like Maine and stuff being open late and like city type feels you don't really get unless you're in Portland, Maine.
Yeah. That's yeah, what was I gonna say? Oh no, I've just lost what I was
The
gonna
train
say.
of thought
um what's on Giga Bowser? That's my
on
next
Giga
question.
Bowser.
I've seen a few videos like you know how like some pros have like played Giga Bowser in like some
Yeah, so
tournaments?
actually there used to
Yeah.
be able to like play Giga Bowser on net play, like queue in
Hmm.
as Giga Bowser, but they patched that out. Giga Bowser would actually he'd be like a low mid tier. Like he's a you could play him, you could win stuff with him. It's just he has like a Peach down smash kind of just beats
Oh, I've
him
heard
as a
about this.
character
Yeah.
because he's so big that he always gets hit by it and he can't get out of it because he's so big. And then if he
Mm.
tries to shield it, he just gets stuck in enough shield stun that they can down smash again.
Yeah.
So like it's and Puff can like rest him really easily.
Mm.
But like versus fast fallers, like versus the Spaceys, he's actually really good. Like he could just zero to death them, and they have a hard time dealing with his
Crazy.
up B out of shield.
So everyone just hates Giga Bowser.
He would not. Yeah, if he was a tournament viable character, like legal, nobody would be happy. He's not. He was not fun.
Mm.
Like I would like think of a way to think about this is like the characters people hate in Melee, Ices and Puff. They like don't follow the rules of Melee.
Okay.
So what I mean by
Also,
that, Ices with wobbling. Nowadays Ices fine. Ices with wobbling ban is fine. But when wobbling was legal, Ices could skip learning punish game.
wait,
So a whole
wobbling?
aspect of the game,
Wait.
wobbling is the infinite with the grab. So you grab them,
Oh, okay.
and Nana just pummels, and then you Nana four tilts and you pummel, and then it's infinite.
Hmm?
So you didn't have to learn punish game. You just had to learn how to find a grab. So you were only playing neutral. That was the only thing you had to play. But now this ban Ices is fine. So then everyone hates Puff because Puff has the same idea. Puff has parts of the game that doesn't play like it's not a normal character. Puff and Pikachu kind of has this too, and I think people will hate Pikachu in the same way they hate Puff in the future. Where let's say I force Puff into the corner, right? Well, Puff doesn't actually care that she's in the corner. Stage positioning doesn't bother Puff because Puff has multiple jumps. Puff doesn't care that you if you hit Puff off the stage. It's no different to Puff being on the stage. In fact, it's harder for you to hit Puff once Puff's off the stage because you can't dash over there. Every other character, even like characters with good recoveries like Samus, there's still like punishment going off the stage. Like Samus, you can like do things and make reads to punish Samus off the stage, but Puff you can't. And Pikachu's actually like this too. If you learn like really good Pikachu up Bs, it's like
Mm-hmm.
they don't get punished for making a mistake that makes them in the corner. So let's say they overshoot you into the corner and they end up behind you, they don't get punished for that. So there's like they don't have to play as from disadvantage. They like can skip disadvantage in a lot of situations that other characters can't. So the whole aspect of the game they can't play. Tie that back into Giga Bowser. Giga Bowser has that too, where there's aspects of the game Giga Bowser doesn't have to play. Like Giga Bowser doesn't have to learn how to shield mix ups. Giga Bowser just upbeats. Giga Bowser doesn't have to learn neutral. Giga Bowser covers the entire screen with his moves. He just has to play mix
It's
ups.
true.
He doesn't have to dash dance. So there's
Mm.
just like things about him that he doesn't have to do that makes the game less
Broken.
like
Yeah.
fun for people. Like it's less holistic melee.
Mm. It's just it's a really cool character, but it's just I can see why it's banned. I've been subscribing to this YouTuber, and they were saying about this story. I, yeah, because I don't know much about the scene. I'm just learning
Yeah.
through like videos and stuff, right? Then I will go on Twitter and like make like some random tweet and be like, "What the hell are you talking about?" But yeah,
Oh, I think it's awesome that you're willing to
mm.
learn. Like one of the reasons I wanted to join the team was when we were talking, you just like knew Yifu's placing at a tournament, and I was like, oh, he cares. He cares enough to follow his players' results, even if they're entering like a small local. So
It's
that to me
interesting. I like
speaks
seeing that
volumes.
every day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And you get to it. That's a cool thing about
Mm.
Smash is every scene has their locals. You get to see that every day. Like I like it's different than a lot of other games in that sense, and it's a local, so it's like people that you know in person, the same people, so you can like see how people improve versus the same people and like how they change. It's really fun for stat nerding out and like following data in that sense.
Yeah. It's Yeah, I generally do enjoy what's it called, the scene. I've always enjoyed Smash as a game. Big Nintendo fan. I have only just got back into looking at Nintendo games. I used to be such a big FPS person, but going back to Nintendo, it's like, oh, this is lush. All my childhood characters. It's great. I mean, I'm a big Splatoon fan. I would love to have a Splatoon fan in Oasis eventually. No, Splatoon team in Oasis. I think that would be sick.
That'd be fun. Splatoon's a good
Yeah,
game.
yeah.
Yeah.
I used to love playing that game.
I think I mentioned this. I used to be a big FPS gamer. Played Counter Strike, level
Yeah, you
3,000
said.
hours in Counter
Mm,
Strike. Have a couple hundred hours in Valorant. Like
yeah.
I wasn't like amazing, but also wasn't bad. Like I got to Supreme Master
Okay.
in Counter Strike and was the purple rank in Valorant. I don't remember
Oh
what that's
wow,
called anymore.
you just good at every
Uh,
gamer. Okay, okay,
yeah,
I
yeah.
see
Like
it.
in Rocket League, I'm Grand Champ.
Okay,
But
okay.
yeah, but like the thing is, team games, there's just like
Hmm.
queuing ranked and like competing in team games without like a
Yeah,
group of
yeah.
people with a similar mindset to you is really hard, and it's really, and like I am a pretty unique individual, so it's also very hard for me to
Yeah, yeah.
find people I can communicate with in a way that like makes sense to them, because
Hmm?
a lot of people will like misinterpret my tone and or misinterpret like me speaking about the game, or stuff like that. So I've had a bunch of hard times with like team based games in that sense, or just like feeling like, hey, if I was in this situation, if I set my teammate up for this situation, I would have won it. And so trying to remove that like ego, like your own ego, I can't ever blame my teammates when playing a fighting game. When playing melee, I can't. The only
Hmm.
person I can blame is myself, except when playing doubles, which I do play doubles with Edgeporp, and we are do
Yeah.
really well. But we're like probably the one of the best. I'll just say we're the best team in New
Hmm.
England.
It's all about
We've
chemistry.
beaten two of the
Yeah.
best teams. There's only one. We need to beat a team with Beckfin on it to really claim best team. But we've beaten Bonfire Arty, which is considered one of the best
Hmm.
teams in New England, and we've beaten Jesse, Ricky, who are considered one of the best teams in New England. So there's really just one more team we need to beat, and then like I
Oh,
think it'd be like
question.
Beckfin, Roy Boy, not Roy Boy. I can't remember his name right now. Yeah,
I've heard of melee doubles, but I haven't heard of melee triples. I saw something on the timeline. Didn't know if it existed or not.
it's real. It's real.
Oh, wow.
It's the guy who owns it, I think, hasn't shared the code for it. It's
Oh.
someone from the MDVA region, which is Maryland, Delaware, Virginia region.
Hmm.
And I think it requires Arduino that you plug into the ports on the Wii, and the Arduino has extra GameCube ports, so you can get
Okay.
6 controllers plugged in, and it's just 3v3. There's been a 3v3 bracket before. I think the team
Hmm.
that won was two Peaches and a Marth, so it was just really like the Peaches would just down smash on side plats, and the Marth would try to throw them into the
Yeah.
plats. So yeah, it does exist. I've never played it. I don't know like if it would be fun or not. It looked silly. I feel like doubles is still really like competitive. It's not as big as it used to be. It used to be really popular during like when Armada Android would team and like Pew Pew US Fat would team. It was a big event, and people used to complain like the doubles versus single scheduling because everyone was playing both.
Hmm.
Nowadays, it's a lot smaller than it used to be, and I'm not really sure why because I think doubles is really fun. And there's a lot of stuff in doubles that's unique to doubles, but triples, I would need more time with it. I think it's more silly in the sense that doubles already simplifies melee, because in doubles you can like a lot of options that are not as good in singles. Like if I just hold shield in singles, or if I just roll around in singles, the opponent can react and punish that. But if I roll in doubles and I roll through my teammate, now you can't cover my roll. So there's like a lot of like bad options become good in doubles, and a lot of things that are bad in singles are good in doubles, vice versa. And then in triples, I feel like it's just gonna get even worse. Where like there's gonna be like some win conditions that are really easy that you just go for it and just fish for.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I've never played it. I would want to play it. I hope it
Hmm.
becomes playable again. I just know it's currently unplayable.
Yeah. Speaking of other options, have you ever played Ultimate or Brawl or Four?
So Brawl was my first Smash game,
Oh, okay.
that I played as like a young Josh, a young Dr. Lame. Never
Hmm.
competed in it. Played Project M, the Brawl mod, and that was my first experience with
Wait, what's
melee-like
that? I've heard of
mechanics.
this. What's that? That's interesting.
Project M is a mod of Brawl because the Wii Brawl was easier to mod than Melee. Melee
Hmm.
modding, only in the past 3 years have we unlocked adding new characters, modifying stages. It's insane. Most of Melee modding stuff has been the last couple years. So at the time, Brawl was a lot easier to mod. You could just stage hack in. The Wii was like an easier system to mod. There's a lot of great Wii ROM hacks and mods
Yeah.
out there. So Project M, people didn't realize the Brawl engine is like a modified Melee engine. So we can get Brawl to feel like Melee. Like Brawl has dash dancing still. It's just they added tripping, so you randomly triple dash dancing. Where the newer games don't even have dash dancing because it's a different engine. And so it's a mod that makes Brawl more like Melee. So Project M, Project Melee. So it adds like wave dashing back and a bunch of melee
Oh.
mechanics back. I
Okay.
think it's the most fun version of Smash out there. Like I think it's more fun than current Ultimate. There's even a mod called PMEX which adds all the Ultimate characters anyway and more. I think
Hmm.
it's the most fun version of Smash to play with your friends. But I think a lot of the characters are just broken, and there's so many characters that it's hard to learn all the matchups and the depth that you can in Melee, and some of the stuff movement. There's like teetering, like there's some like mechanics that are removed that allow more depth that Melee has. So I think it's a worse competitive game, but I think it's the best like casual
Yes.
game to play with your friends.
Hmm.
I think it's the second best. I think Project M is the second best Smash game. I think it goes Melee, Project M, Ultimate, then like Smash 4, then Brawl. I'm a Brawl hater, a vanilla Brawl hater. 64 is like better than Ultimate. I played a lot of 64.
Okay.
I've competed in Ultimate tournaments. There was a time where on their
Oh,
bracket I
oh, I
was
was gonna ask that.
15th.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I took it, like I started
Hmm.
learning it and played in like 2 tournaments, kind of serious. Like
Yeah,
I
yeah.
did really well. In one tournament I beat Boxman in Cruise, so I only played him in Cruise. I beat Bounce, who's like players that aren't like super good, but like enough that on the bracket I was like top 20. I was like 18th or 20 something on the elo. And one more win is I went game 3 last stock with Young Hot Hot, who's like I think they've been PR'd before.
Yeah, they're
Yeah,
ninth. Yeah, the ninth.
yeah. I went game
Yeah,
3
yeah.
last stock with them. That was like 2 weeks into me switching to tilt stick.
Hmm?
What were you gonna ask?
Oh, I forgot now.
That's okay.
um,
But like
wait.
Ultimate,
I
I
think it.
would compete in again. So
Oh, I
like
was about. That was literally my question.
yeah,
That was literally my question. You're a mind reader.
I think I would, and a lot of it is just like
Yeah,
time.
yeah, yeah.
I think like I don't know what the scene will be like when I'm like actually done my
Yep.
PhD in 2 years. Maybe we'll be playing Rivals of Aether 2, and it doesn't even matter. But I would like to be playing more platform fighters than less. I've played Rivals of Aether 1. I don't know if you know what Rivals is. It's
No,
like
no, I don't know what that is.
probably the most popular competitive indie Smash-like title. Rivals
Oh.
of Aether is like a 2D pixel platform fighter with like some like more like has some melee mechanics in it and some like
Hmm.
unique mechanics. It's a pretty good game.
Yeah, yeah.
And still competed in. But then there's a sequel being made that's adding in a lot more melee mechanics back. So I'm wondering if that will be like the next big competitive platform fighter. But it's not out till I think like mid or late
Yeah.
2024.
I still think people will probably play Melee because of the nostalgia.
I think melee can't die. I think melee's like
Yeah.
chess now. It's so
Hmm.
old. Like I think you're over 20 years old. The game can drink. It's over 21. It can drink in the U.S. Like I think it's been around for so long, it's gonna be impossible to kill, and new stuff keeps coming out for it. We got ranked just last year, like within the year. Um, so I don't see it ever dying. I think it's gonna be the chess of like video game esports. It would
Hmm.
take. It's too hard to replicate. It's a beautiful accident in terms of game creation, and trying to replicate it also like you end up just doing it worse because you try to like fix things that you think should be fixed, and then by fixing them you've made a worse mechanic, which is very weird. I think
What is
there's
your
ways to
thoughts?
make
Wait.
it better. Yeah,
What is your thoughts on Smash 4?
I hated Smash 4. Smash 4 was awful. It was run up shield the game.
Ah, that was my Yeah, yeah. That's the only Smash title I've got. But yeah, I've got Melee. I've got Melee on a little emulator. I got
Yeah,
Dolphin for PC, and I booted it up recently. So I was
yeah.
like,
I
oh,
recommend
I've never
checking.
played this game. Yeah.
I recommend checking out blippy.gg, blippi.gg for like how to set up net play, how to like optimize your settings, how to
Okay.
make playing melee a little better. Um, yeah, melee is unforgiving controls wise. It has no buffer
Nah,
except
nah,
for
nah. I play the most cursed thing ever. I play on
okay.
Nintendo
What do you play?
controllers. I play on the Xbox One controller.
I
Okay.
think that's not that bad. I'm actually of the opinion that's not that bad. So if we look at like I can show
Hmm.
you why it's not that bad. So here's an Xbox controller.
Yeah, yeah,
Here's
yeah.
a GameCube controller. What do you
That's
notice?
not too different. Yeah, yeah.
It's not too different.
In fact,
Yeah.
it's pretty similar. It's pretty similar. They're
Really, it's
like in
just
the
the
same
button
places.
sizes. There are
Yeah.
people who play on Xbox controllers nowadays because there's
Really.
people who
You're
only
allowed.
had online. Yeah, I know someone who yeah, you can make a legal Xbox controller for LAN. It just takes a lot of effort. So
Oh
online, you can play with
wow.
whatever controller you want. Nobody's gonna bother you. But the Xbox controller, as long as you have the same number of buttons, you can make it legal on LAN. You just need to change it so that it sends code as a GameCube controller. And I know someone who's done that. There's a Ganondorf player named Abe who started in the online era, so was playing with Xbox controller,
Hmm?
and then would go to local tournaments and need a GameCube controller, and the GameCube controller just feels different enough it would fuck with his movement and stuff.
Oh
So he
wow,
eventually just figured out how to make an Xbox
that's
shaped
crazy.
GameCube controller.
That is so cool.
Yeah, so Xbox controller actually not that bad. Actually not that bad to play with.
Hmm.
Of all like the controllers you could have picked, the best of like the non GameCube controllers. That is still
Okay.
a physical controller.
Yeah, yeah. I got a question. What
Yeah,
is Kirby one of the worst characters in Melee?
I think I think Kirby's better than Bowser. So I think
Okay.
Kirby is the second worst character in the game. But like
Is it
I,
because of speed?
it's it's because of lack of a lot of things. So recovery, you feel like Kirby would have a good recovery, but each jump she has slower horizontal movement, so it's
Mm-hmm.
less horizontal than you think. And if she gets out of up B, she loses all of her jumps.
Hmm.
And actually, I don't think Kirby goes by. Why am I saying she? Kirby doesn't go by she. Kirby's agender. I'm pretty sure.
I don't
Um,
even know.
yeah, I think Kirby's agender, or he/him, but I also don't know. Um, I'll just say Kirby instead of using pronouns for a blob.
Hmm.
Um, and then Kirby also has no like good neutral moves. Like Kirby can back air you, and that's about it. And it's hard. It doesn't really combo at low percents. Or they can like wave dash up tilt. Like Kirby can wave dash up tilt to start a combo, but then wave dash up tilt was like 3 up tilts into an up air, and then you're like out. So like no kill combos. Neutral is actually okay. Can crouch under a lot of characters' grabs. Um, meh recovery easy to gimp because of that, even though you think they wouldn't be.
Hmm.
So, but you can still win with Kirby. My friend,
The
oh,
ground pound's good.
trip the ground pound, the hammer. No,
Yeah. Really not?
no, it's not. No, it's not good
Ah,
in
okay, never
melee.
mind, never mind. This
It's
is
better in
awkward.
the
This is
newer
awkward.
games. In the newer games, it's pretty good. In melee, it's just not strong enough. Like your back or your up air
Hmm.
is just as
True.
good.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do see the difference between Smash 4 and Melee because I play both of them as well. Because I've got a Wii U in the living room, so I play that. I had a Switch, but I sold it for a PC, so I will never regret that.
Yeah. Yeah. There's like 3 Switch games worth playing.
Yeah. It's just and the thing is about big reason why I switched to a keyboard is the joysticks. The Joy-Con drift is crazy. I hate Joy-Con drift. So annoying.
Yeah,
You just be
that's
playing, it
like
goes everywhere.
I think they're
Yeah.
getting sued by the European Union for that.
Yeah. They
I think it's
didn't
like going
iPhone
to
get
court.
sued recently?
Yeah, iPhone lost.
Yeah,
iPhone has
Apple.
to
Yeah.
the new iPhone has
Hmm.
USB C.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
there's a
yeah.
second trial where iPhone has to allow third-party applications in the EU. But I
Hmm.
think that's just going to be the EU because like Android, I can download an APK and use a third-party
Yeah,
app,
yeah.
not from the Android store. But Apple, you can't do that, and that's falls under like EU monopoly law, like some law that you
Yeah.
guys have. Well, I guess you're not part of the EU anymore, so you don't count. But so like you might not be able to download third party apps, but I know that the EU they're going to be allowed to download third party apps. But I saw Apple's thinking about region locking it,
Oh
so they can't like
no.
give people to
Yes, I'll move to
yeah
France.
yeah. But the USB C thing is because of how manufacturing works. That's
Hmm.
every phone, even though it was only the EU
Yeah.
that funded for it.
I'm glad it's USB-C. I'm really glad. Although for the older phones, it's going to be a struggle going to an airport and getting a USB-C charger. I was recently in Paris, right, and I forgot to bring my iPhone charger with me on holiday, and that was really awkward because if there was no shops with an iPhone charger, I'd be screwed in another country.
Oh,
But
yeah,
yeah,
that's true. I wonder if there's I would guess there's an adapter. USB-C is like compatible with everything. So you could probably just get an adapter
true,
that converts it
true.
from
Mm.
USB-C to Lightning port, like just a little dongle that
Yeah,
you keep on you.
there probably is. There's a dongle for everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, I work in IT as well, so if there's something
I
like
learned actually there's not a dongle for everything because I
that,
learned that
mostly though, let's be honest.
DVI like D to like HDMI doesn't something like that doesn't work.
Wait, DVI?
Yeah.
No, DVI HTML works. We've got some at my work.
It works one way but not the other way.
Oh, Didn't know that one. Yeah.
Yeah, there's like one. It's really weird. There's one weird one like
Hmm.
that. Because I tried to do it at work and it only worked one way, and I was like
Okay.
stuck to like 1080p if I tried to do it the other way.
But the more you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I honestly hate DVR so much. It's the most like common connection ever. But like most monitors don't even use it anymore. That's the old ones. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know like why graphics cards still have it. I'm not like an expert. I don't work in IT. I work in a computational lab, so I know more than the average person. But I just know enough to be able to put a computer together and run code on it.
Fair enough. But it's quite cool that you've got that whole PhD as well. So yeah, well you're working towards that, aren't you? Is that
Yeah,
correct?
yeah. I'm
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
2 years away. I would say 2 to 3 years, and
Hmm.
then my tag will be real. The closest I've ever been to my tag being real.
The
When
real
I made
doctor.
it, when I didn't even have an undergraduate degree, I
Hmm.
could be master lame. I have my master's.
Nah, it doesn't have the same ring to it. It doesn't have the same ring
Yeah,
to it.
no, Doctor Lame just like rolls off the tongue. I don't know
Yeah,
why.
so true. But yeah, moving on to Smash again. How did you choose Marth?
So this was actually I had a friend who went
Hmm.
by the tag Saturn, who's like amazing in the game, way better than me at the time.
Yeah, yeah.
The only reason they weren't like really high on a PR was when the first PR that got made in a little while. It was just like when they weren't competing as seriously, and I think they're right under me on it. Before then, they would just destroy everyone other than like Stacey Stepdad and Terminating Slayer 420. They were just destroying everyone else. And they played Fox, and they're my friend who introduced me to Melee. I went to school with them since middle school, and I'm still friends with them. I hung out with them just the other day.
Yeah.
And he's just like, "Well, Marth beats Fox. Why don't you learn Marth so I'm better versus Marth for like my bad matchup?" And that's actually why I picked up Marth, which is because my friend wanted someone to cover their bad matchup. And then over time, I've realized like it was a really good choice. I like plays to my strengths as a player that I have naturally. And I feel like the only other characters I would like switch to other than Marth would be like Falcon or Fox. None of the other characters really feel that good to me.
They're quite big meta characters right now. Like everyone seems to go with those characters.
Yeah, it's pretty much well like a lot of the cast in Melee is just not like as fun to play. They're just not as broken. So they're less fun to play as. Like they're not like they're viable. Like I was gonna say this earlier, my friend Trail,
Hmm.
who's a top 100 ICs player at one point, lost in $100 money match to Ginger's Kirby. Like, like how does a top player like lose to a top player's Kirby? It's just there's still skill gaps. There's enough skill gaps for the low tiers to be good. It's just they're
Yeah.
not fun to play. They don't have all the movement stuff or all like the fun stuff that the better characters have. And so that's why you see like and a
Yeah.
lot of the better characters better. Like Fox has everything. There's no like Fox players aren't the only thing they complain about is they get punished hard. But part of the
Mhm.
reason they get punished hard is everybody like they're half the people playing the game. So of course everyone knows how to punish them.
Mm.
But
That's why we need Giga Bowser.
no,
Bring it
no,
back.
we
Bring
don't.
it back. Bring it back.
It's not even. It was never legal. It was just online. You could play it. It's not a legal character. It's not part of the original cast.
Legalize
It was only
Bowser.
through glitches
Legalize
you could
Giga
play as
Bowser.
him. I
Legalize
don't
him.
see it. You know, you can play as Master Hand as well.
I've heard of that. Yeah, I've seen some stuff.
Yeah, you can play as Master Hand and Crazy Hand. You can also play as the
Is
wireframes.
that through glitches or
Yeah, it's through glitches. And there was like
okay?
there's a glitch, a gecko code, that you used to be able to do online too, where you could make any character work like ice climbers. So people would play Mario climbers, so it'd be like two Marios, and the
That's
second
cool.
Mario would have the Nana AI.
That is so cool.
Yeah,
It would work more better if it was like Mario and Luigi, like the
yeah.
Mario
It's
Bros.
just
Instead of
due to the
Mario.
code, you couldn't
Yeah.
do that based off how the glitch worked.
Ah.
Yeah.
But imagine if you could. One day that would be a
You could
thing.
mod that. You could mod in Mario and Luigi as an ice climbers type character.
That would be. But yeah. So on to the next question. How did you get into gaming and Smash as well? Yeah.
So I'd say gaming as a young child. Before I could even talk, my parents had a Nintendo. and I would play Mario on my own, and I could like beat the game before I could like form sentences as a human. So like gaming since before I could talk. And then I just like that'd be like my main hobby being from Maine. Like there's not a lot to do. It's either gaming or playing sports outside. I would do both, and playing an instrument. There's not like other hobbies you can really have outside of that. Like you need
Yeah, yeah.
individualistic hobbies. And then my oldest sister was a nerd. Um, she actually, I'm gonna plug her. She's an Instagram Luminara. She has like 40,000 something followers on
Oh
Instagram.
wow,
She
crazy.
models, but she was a nerd growing up, and so would buy me like my first Magic the Gathering deck. Would like buy me like games on like Steam and PlayStation and stuff like
That's really
that.
nice.
I really like have very fond memories of playing like Kingdom Hearts. It was like one of my favorite PS2 games growing up, the first one and the second one,
Hmm.
and Rechain of Memories. Dynasty Warriors, I love. I played that growing up a lot too. Ratchet and Clank, Jack and Daxter, Sly Cooper. Yeah. So a lot of PS2 games growing up. But then my first PC game was my dad bought me Rome Total War from a Scholastic
Hmm.
book, like new bookstore type. Like the schools like would have like a
Yeah,
library
yeah.
store, and Rome Total War was one of the games, and Civilization. So yeah, my first PC game was Rome Total War, and my second was Civilization.
Civilization, like the first one.
It was like Civilization 4, I think.
I've never played Civilization, but it does look interesting. Um, it- uh, I wish they would like upscale the graphics or something. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of the graphics, but yeah.
Have you played like the? I haven't played the newest one. The newest one looks
Hmm.
interesting. I haven't played it though.
I feel like for its time, that they could make it like the graphics like so much better. Yeah, I feel like the concept's amazing, but
Yeah, I know the next one they're trying to like promising everyone they're gonna go look back at like all the games and try and like take all the best mechanics and make like the best game from all the ideas they've had. Because they keep like
hmm.
switching a lot of core mechanics from game to game without really like
Yeah,
following
yeah.
like an update of the core mechanics. But
Hmm.
we'll see if that's true or not.
Yeah, yeah. See, I'm more of a Rise of Kingdoms fan, because I've got 10 million power. So
Is Rise of Kingdoms of like one of those mobile games or
yeah,
what?
yeah. I was making a joke
Yeah.
about the mobile ad game. You know when they go in the cafe and they're
Yeah.
like, "Ah, I've how does he not remember my name?" It's like, "Oh, that's because he's got 10 million power."
I think I've seen that ad. Yeah, I know
Yeah,
what you're talking
yeah,
about.
yeah,
Mobile
yeah.
games are insane. My
Hmm.
cousin is the vice president of like Zynga, like one of the mobile game companies, and yeah, I couldn't work for a company like that. It's so predatory.
It's so weird how like half the adverts on mobile games are just like so fake.
Yeah,
Like oh, what's it called? The Gardenscape game. I forgot what it's called. But they do like the weird story of the granny and stuff like that. Where it becomes
yeah,
like a serial killer, and I'm like,
yeah,
this is cool, right? But I want to play the actual game where this is shown, you know? But it's
yeah.
never like that.
I think there's a game
Hmm,
on Steam called like you've seen this in ads, and it's like they made all like the games you see in ads, like the mini
that's
games they
cool.
show that aren't actually the game. They made into a game that's a group of those mini games, and I love that. I love they did that. They did
Wait,
with that.
Steam. It's on Steam.
It's on Steam. I don't remember the name, but
Okay.
it's a game that consists
Hmm.
of them taking all those mini games you see like in ads of like pulling the pins or like moving the troops or stuff like that, but making a game of them.
That sounds really interesting. I
Yeah.
definitely will try and check that out. But yeah, it just annoys me. And another one, Raid Shadow Legends. Now this podcast is actually sponsored, but nah,
I can't
it's
shake my
not.
head. I'm
It's
gonna shake
not.
my head. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They have reached out though.
Okay.
What's it called? They reached out to not Team Oasis or the podcast, but they reached out to Blue Skirmish. Have I mentioned Blue Skirmish before to you?
Yeah. 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 It's the
Yeah.
European Valorant League.
Yeah, yeah. They, I get a few of those through Stream Elements a lot of the time, and it's like, oh, Raid Challenge have offered you blah blah blah. And the problem is with those kind of sponsorships is you have to what's it called get people to play the game to get the money. And I'm like,
Yeah.
that's cool, but we're trying to stream a Valorant League. We're not trying to play the game. It would be quite funny. Ah,
Yeah.
Valorant League plays Raid Shadow Legends or like a Raid Shadow Legends League or something. But who knows?
Yeah.
Maybe I'll sell out one day. But um, yeah. Um, Bash mobile games. What can I say? Um,
It's weird. It's like weird. Like in games like Genshin Impact and stuff get like popular,
hmm.
and I think like there's some like merit to some mobile games, and like the idea that we like the gotcha system in some sense, like people like gambling, but there needs to be a
Yeah.
way to make it like less predatory.
Hmm. Because there's like clickbait, and then there's clickbait.
Yeah.
But yeah, there needs to be a fine line, I think, because yeah, you're just wasting people's time and their
Totally.
storage, and sometimes their money as well. With there was a really good mobile game out there on Instagram. Like the guy would make the social media guy would make some really cool ads. He wouldn't make it normally like, oh, please play my game or something. Summoners greed or something. But yeah, I loved that like concept of like marketing. It was so different to the predatory like stuff back at the time.
Yeah.
You seen it? Seen the game?
I I know what Summoner's Greed is, like that
Hmm.
mobile game, but I don't know the ad you're talking about. But I do agree that they used to be less predatory.
Yeah.
Um, I don't like where the gaming industry is right now overall. I mean, everyone says that it's a cliche, and people say it without having like a meaning to back it up. But I just mean in a sense, there's a lot of like
Yeah.
triple like we have too many investment companies that are being run as investments by like our companies have gotten too big. We have too many monopoly companies. And so like the ecosystem, there's not a lot of like mid like this is kind of like the American economy, but there's not a lot of like mid-sized
Yeah.
gaming studios out there. We have like Super Giant Games and Hades would be an example of like there used to be a lot more companies like Supergiant Games. There used to be a lot more games like Hades coming out. They're just passion projects from
Hmm.
these like mid-sized studios who get the money and someone takes a chance on them. But now we just have like we have indie game and to get like small like 1 to 5 devs and to get bought by big studio, or if you're mid-sized you get bought by big studio.
Yeah.
And like yeah, it's just been hurting like I would say creativity in games where it's really just
Hmm.
indie games and big games. And we don't have like these like medium-sized games like Hades that come out and are super creative and change the market, or
Yeah.
Slay the Spire. But Slay the Spire was more of an indie game, so it doesn't really super count. But or games like Terraria, like just games that like set a new precedent. I
Yeah.
feel like are going to become less and less common over time as the game market
Mhm.
becomes more saturated from smaller devs, and as it gets more and more predatory, like with what Unity tried to pull.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's become too
I swear
monopolized.
everyone's left Unity or something. Like no one
Yeah,
uses it.
yeah, like everyone's no longer using Unity because that was insane. To have like part of your like license for the game, to have part of your license for the engine allow for you to have to pay money to the company off your installs is like there's you could be selling the game and lose money by having to pay Unity fees. There's like a the math worked out that that was a possibility, and that shouldn't be a possibility. And this is
Yeah,
the license you
it's
pay for,
weird.
so this is on top of
Oh,
paying for using the
Ubisoft
engine.
as well.
Yeah, Ubisoft is awful. Blizzard is
Did you hear about
awful.
that? Did you hear about that?
What
The
do they
story.
do?
Basically, if you don't sign in with 30 days, they will delete your account and all your games will be lost. Like you have to sign, like you have to make sure you're signing every month, right? Or they will delete your account.
That's insane. I'm glad I don't think I own anything on the. I
I
don't own
own a
anything
few
on
games,
Ubisoft.
unfortunately. I own Rainbow
I've tried
Six
to
Siege
avoid to
and
buy any game that's not through Good Old Games or through
hmm,
Steam. So Good Old Games has no
yeah,
DRM, so they can't do that to you. And then Steam, I like kind of trust Valve in the sense that he's like the crazy communist company that will probably not delete all your games, hopefully. But like I don't trust like Epic Games, and I don't trust like Ubisoft's market or
I
Microsoft's
trust Epic.
market.
I think Epic's not going to be too bad because Epic Games has always given free games as well, so it's like
Yeah.
it can't be too bad. Um, I'm not a huge fan of Fortnite because the community is awful. It's just a bunch of little kids
Yeah.
crying about, "Oh, this guy landed on me. What are we gonna do?" But it's just like and they copy like every pro's picture as well. It's like, oh, yeah,
Yeah.
like new pro picture drops. It's like it's someone's like dog or someone's mum, and every little kid will
I
have it.
was
Ah,
already battle royaled out by the time Fortnite started becoming popular because I played PUBG like a week or like within like as soon as it
yeah,
became a
yeah.
standalone game, I was playing PUBG. So
Hmm. Okay, I miss the golden age of like mobile game. We had like Hill Climb Racing, Angry Birds. Those kind of games.
yeah, I mean part of that might just be like I don't know. I don't know what the like we were younger then, right?
Hmm.
Like what how old are you? Like I'm 25, 24. I turned 25 this year.
I'm 19.
You're
But
19.
yeah.
See, so
Well, I'm
like
actually
we're
18,
in
but I might as well say I'm
you're 18.
19. But yeah.
Yeah, so like we were in high school,
Hmm.
and you were in middle school. I was in high school. You were
Yeah,
in
yeah,
middle school. We're not like looking for games. Like we have money. We don't need to look for like free or cheap games that like other kids are playing. So I don't know. Maybe there is still like
yeah.
free games that aren't as like uh that aren't like predatory now like there was back then because there's still like Clash of Clans back then. I played Clash Royale a lot, and that has some predatory
Mm.
things but isn't super predatory.
Yeah, but I felt like there was still an element of fun with those games. It wasn't just, oh, you have to buy, this like Subway Surfers. There was an
Yeah,
option. You
yeah.
didn't need it to progress through the game. But yeah, of course, there were still games like that. You had to buy all the diamonds and stuff to, get through to the next day, not have to wait. But that was optional. Just put your phone down and go somewhere else.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, the weights also weren't too bad, but I still think
Hmm.
it's silly to like have you wait, because they like had it, and like I think the difference is having you wait and then everyone has to wait
Yeah.
versus having you wait and then being able to pay to skip. Those are very different things.
I really liked Subway Surfers as well. I thought that was good. And what's it called? Bad Piggies as well with the carts. And you got to design your cart to get to the finish line. That was cool.
Yeah, I didn't play a lot of. I think I played only the original Subway Surfers for a little bit and like the original Angry Bird, and then like the
Hmm.
develop and then like Flappy Bird and how the developer took that off the store.
That is a shame. It's a shame we lost a great creation, but too many phones got broken.
Yeah,
But yeah,
it's kind of like how Sakurai regrets a little bit of making Melee.
I've heard of this, but I don't know why.
He just didn't like how competitive it got. So like the reason he made
Oh
stuff
yeah, I hate
was,
that Nintendo hates esports.
yeah, they just inherently hate. Like they have a lot of people who just don't like competition. Like I think
Hmm.
his like he had like a Joker moment where he was like playing on a fighting game cabinet and was like winning a lot and
Yeah.
feeling really good. And then he realized that like it was like in a art Japanese arcade, so you're playing against someone else like on a machine across from
Hmm?
you, and he sees that it was a kid, and the kid was like crying, and that was like his Joker moment. Where like, oh, we shouldn't be happy that we can beat people up like this in games.
What? We live in a society.
That like there is these things called skill
Hmm.
gaps at every single thing
Yeah,
you do,
yeah.
and it's more learning. It's really on the kid who's crying to like internalize and
Hmm.
understand like there's always going to be someone better than you.
Yeah, I
It's
feel like
like
it's a normal part of growing
one
up.
in 8 billion
Yeah,
people are going to be the best at something, and you're not going to
exactly.
be like, just accept that you're not going to
Hmm.
be that one until
Yeah, yeah.
for very 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 like that's
Hmm.
chance is minuscule, and it takes a shit metric
Yeah, yeah.
fuck ton of work to get there. It's not just going to happen.
Of course, it makes
Yeah.
sense. But yeah, I really think it's weird how the Smash Team is kind of like the not the Smash Team, but how Nintendo treats their games with esports is kind of like how Call of Duty is treated. They make a new game, expect everyone to go over, but a lot of people stick to it and try and keep the esports going. I like that. Like there was a brief moment where Mario Kart was still quite a popular esport. I'm not sure if it still is, but yeah, I think what's it called? We should keep these games running. But the problem is Nintendo will eventually come flying down, and that is a bit of a worry. Because didn't what's it called? Riptide get like yeah, Riptide got attacked for Splatoon. They made a Splatoon event and Twitch banned their account. And I think
Yeah.
it's messed up.
Yeah,
But
Nintendo's
yeah,
done a lot of messed up things.
hmm.
They're not a good company. Like the
I like their
Metroid
games,
guy,
but
they
yeah,
sued into oblivion. There's a bunch of people and
hmm,
projects they sued into oblivion that are entirely
yeah,
passion projects that weren't making any money. Just even outside like esports, they've done
hmm,
awful things. So, and people will still like kiss their boot. So,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah,
I know why. I know why. I know. No, the reason why they are the bad guys is because they got Bowser as their president. Okay,
yeah.
he's
But
actually
it
he's
needs to
actually
not.
Giga Bowser. He's actually Giga
He's
Bowser.
Giga
Okay.
Bowser. Is this
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
final running theory?
Yeah, it's the final boss. Okay. Listen, you walk into that, in it like a melee match begins where you got to fight all the Nintendo employees or something, right? You get to it right, and it's just Sakurai's hand or stuff you got to fight or something, and then you end up with Giga Bowser at the end. But yeah, that is the story. Okay, and then at the end you get like this controller. There should be a movie concept, you know, the Smash movie. I don't know, but Nintendo now you can make it. But yeah,
On an
um,
entirely different note, I just had an idea that is there um like we could do as like the org as like Team Oasis.
okay,
We could there's a couple of things we could do. We could have like the melee players try to coach the alt players in melee and vice
that would be really
versa,
cool.
and then run like a
Yeah,
crew battle where the melee players have to play ultimate and the ultimate players have to play melee. And but the only
yeah,
coaching they've gotten is from the other like group. So like we like kind of like the chest Twitch streams that happen, or like even like us trying to teach you melee. Like
that would be fun.
we
Yeah.
send you on ranked and we're just in like voice chat yelling at you.
Oh no.
So
It is an
we
interesting.
might do
The only
those.
problem with the ultimate idea is, I'm assuming what's called you all aren't on Switch. I'm not sure if all of you have
Yeah, the
Switches.
ultimate
So,
idea is a lot harder because we'd have to all be in
hmm,
like we are all in Maine. So
yeah,
it is more possible because we are all in Maine and we could just like stream the broadcast to you and or something like that and have, you could like commentate and talk to us. Um,
true.
but it would be harder because the melee one we can just do online. So the melee one's
Yeah,
a lot easier. Like it doesn't matter. We can all just play online from where we
or we
are.
could pirate.
Um,
Wait, what? Nothing.
yeah, there is a working
Hmm.
emulator for Ultimate that
Yeah, yeah.
online works, but it's a lot more. Nintendo's more willing to like prosecute newer um,
True. True that.
emulators and older ones, because like Nintendo like hasn't Melee's not accessible. Like I can't go buy Melee and run it on my Switch.
The question is,
So
how will they know? How will they know pirating?
yeah, that's a good point.
Hmm.
I don't know. We could have that
Unless they saw the
conversation with
PC
Ultimate.
screen, saw like the PC
Yeah,
screen, like
so it definitely
emulator on
could
the top.
first with like the melee players trying to teach the ultimate players
Yeah,
and like running a battle. I
I'd be
guess like do we
interested in
want to
that.
like
Yeah.
switch to the portion where I ask you questions, or do we go for like 1 hour or
I've
two
got one
hours?
more. I've got one more question. But yeah.
Awesome.
What was your Maniacs experience?
I would say really good. They're very positive people, and it seems like more of a passion. It seems like there's like three. There's like Seth. I'm not gonna attempt to butcher all their names, but there's three people who put money in the team and work together to
Hmm.
make the team, and they were always super supportive and very passionate. So I would say they weren't like trying to be like an official like small org. It was more like, hey, we can support people when we can,
Yeah.
and we have cool merch, and we want to like be a main. Like our name is Maine. We
Hmm.
are Mainas. Most of them have
Yeah,
used
it's good to
Maine at
see.
some point, and so I would
Hmm.
say like just positive. It would just be
Yeah.
like the monetary support is just they're just
Hmm.
guys running to work. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I really want to see Maniacs come back. This sounds really weird to say. It's like a rival kind of orc, but I kind of miss the days when it was Bandits versus Maniacs. I think I enjoyed that kind of rivalry.
I mean,
Um,
that kind of rivalry can build like
yeah,
storylines and stuff if it's
true,
organic, which it was
exactly.
organic, but it was just maybe a little
Hmm.
like it was a little bit too one-sided in a lot of the games.
Yeah.
Like back when the Bandit Smash rivalry, and on the melee side of
Hmm.
things, it's just me beating up the Bandits players.
That sounds so
um,
bad. But yeah.
yeah, I don't know. It seems like they're a little bit more like away from the team. It seems like lately, so we'll see what
Hmm.
they decide to get passionate about and push back in. Because again, it seems
Yeah.
like more when they're passionate about it, they want to do it.
Hmm.
But I don't see them like going away or stopping. I think it's just going to be
Yeah.
like more of an ebb and flow type deal.
Well, we all have our off moments, so
Yeah.
be good to see them back. And yeah, it'd be interesting to see if they do jump back into the melee scene, though. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I was the only melee player they ever signed. They talked about signing like Edgeport for Stacy Stepdad, and
Hmm.
they never signed either of them, and they signed
Yeah.
three ultimate players. So I don't know. It's weird to see like them like I feel like optimally you have like three players of each game signed. So it's weird to go from like a team with like one of my game to like a team with like an insane number of players signed, which is why I was
Yeah,
wanting
we
to
got a
tie into
stacked
like your
roster right now.
questions. To,
I
yeah,
think we've got seven. got 7. Yeah, we've
Yeah,
got 7, I
that's
believe.
my question. Like, that's a
Yeah.
lot of players. Like, what are your plans with them and the org and all those players?
Um, I just feel like what's it called? Having more players makes it's one for good for content. Two, what's it called? It's great for connections as well. They're all well connected to each other, so it helps out the org in the long run. Two, they all know each other, so what's it called? They're always going to communicate with each other, so it's a good, balance. I think. I don't want to do that with Ultimate really, because I feel like I'm starting to go broke with this idea. So
Yeah,
I don't want to do that with Ultimate, right? But what's it called? I think I'll go up to 4 with Ultimates. That's the plan. But yeah,
yeah, because I feel like 3 or 4 makes like three, like is what the larger orgs will do is like 3 or 4. So like 7 is crazy, but I like your like it. We all know each other. We're all feeding off each other,
yeah.
and not all of us have to be like the same. Like not all of us are the same skill level or the same passion, so not all
Hmm.
of us have to be the same price.
I'm a big
To
fan.
the org, yeah. And I think I'll be interesting to see it going forward. And we have that many. Some people might self-select themselves out, as in like, oh, I'm not doing as much anymore. Because when you have 7 melee players, one of them's bound to quit the game entirely. And have like
Yeah.
people always quit melee at some point and come back, but you never fully quit. But you get frustrated. The game's just hard.
Yeah,
Like it
yeah, yeah.
destroys your ego. Like so.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it'd be a shame to lose any of them. So yeah.
Yeah, that was sick.
Um. Yeah. What was I gonna say? I had a question now. Um. ah, Probably should come back to that question.
Okay.
The
Do you want me to
future
let
of
you think
Doctor
about it,
Lame.
or
Yeah, the future of Doctor Lame.
the future of Dr. Lame? I would
Yes, like
say
streaming as well.
streaming. I want to get back into streaming. I always enjoyed
Hmm.
that. They've always went well, and that's another thing Maniacs was good about
Ooh, ooh.
is
Where can we find you?
uh PhD underscore lame. Dr. Lame was taken, and I didn't like Dr. Lame SSBM. So PhD underscore lame for Twitch,
Hmm.
and then Dr. Lame for all of my other socials. And Twitter would be the best, which I think my Twitter is just at Dr. Lame.
Yeah.
But the future would be like I want to go to majors, like more large tournaments. I've done like okay. I've gotten 97th at both. Got out of round one pool, so I didn't drown in pools at both. But I've like the matches that I lose and losers are always super close, and I feel like I can do better. So I want to like have a major where I have the like a run to my skill level that I think I can have. Especially with like some of my like online results, and then like teaming with Edgeporp. It'd be nice to do that more big events. We've gotten I think 33rd and 17th at the 2 majors we went to in doubles, and the 17th one was insane because we only lost to the team that won and a team that got seventh, and that was a stacked tournament. Both those teams were two top 100 players, so like I feel like we can like
Yeah.
I feel like top 8 at a doubles tournament is not outside our reach because most doubles tournaments aren't that stacked. So I hope to be able to go to like some tournaments with Edgeporp in the future.
Great.
Most of the
Get you a
majors,
jersey as well.
yeah, getting the
Hmm.
jersey, and the jersey would be sick. Most of that
Yeah.
will probably be early next year. Would probably be when the first major I go to under Oasis, and then regionals wise, I will probably more in the latter half of the year than earlier on because I have 2 conferences in October.
Yeah.
So I'm traveling to Seattle, Washington for work, and then I have a conference in the local area for work.
Okay.
But you'll definitely see me at Vacation Lands every other Thursday,
Hmm.
and then a BLR I plan to travel to before the season's over to kind of like snipe Stacy Stepdad to claim #1 or lose to Stacy Stepdad and lose #1. We'll see what happens, but I need to travel to a BLR soon,
Yeah.
and that I'll tweet about before I do. Like I told everyone I would give a 1 week notice for the BLR I'm gonna go to. And then yeah, I was gonna be at SSS, which was a regional, but there was a hurricane.
Oh yeah, you did say yeah.
Yeah, and it happened to
I
hit
remember that.
exactly. Actually, I definitely could have traveled. It was way
Hmm.
overhyped for where it was gonna do to Maine, but the predicted like bad area was exactly the highway that I would have to take to New Hampshire.
You've just given me another question as well because that reminded me about Shine. How was Shine? Because that was really cool. You did well as well. 97th, remember?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I did fairly well. I lost to Bank, who's another Marth player, one of the better Marth players in New England, and that set like wasn't close, and I felt pretty bad about that set. I was like low percent 2 stock twice. Then I made it out of the rest of my pools. Big actually almost upset a really good Fox
Hmm.
player, Pando's top 100. So I feel Big was just playing hot that day, and I was playing kind of average. Then I played a Fox player named Q, who's PR in Connecticut or from Connecticut, and I got reverse 3-0'd in round two pools, and that hurt. Getting reverse 3-0'd hurts. Took me a while to get over that because like you're up 2-0 and you're like, oh, and I'm Marth versus Fox. I just need to win an FD game, and I got destroyed the next three games. So it was definitely a mentality thing where I just needed to like slow down. I kept like putting more adrenaline, more gas into myself, and that actually was making it worse and making me play worse. So I needed to slow down Q rather
Yeah.
than trying to like play faster. And after watching
Wait,
him
was that the
like
video
do
on
it, I was
YouTube? Is that the video on YouTube? That's
I don't think that's no, I don't think so.
no. There's a Shine
But
video
Q,
playing, but yeah,
there's a Shine video of me playing.
yeah.
Maybe it's probably the doubles match with Edgeport.
Yes, yes, it was a doubles match.
Yeah,
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 yeah.
because that was on stream. But no, the Q went on to be the highest
Hmm.
ranking New England player other than Dr. Lobster. He beat me and then beat three other players and got to top 48. So like at least he like beat me and popped off. He didn't just like beat me. He didn't just reverse 3-0 me and then drown. He
Yeah,
beat me and popped off. And then doubles is
that's good.
amazing. Doubles felt good. Like beating Ricky Jesse with a reverse 3-0 felt amazing. I don't
Question:
think yeah.
what was your doubles placement?
17th out of like 200.
That's amazing.
And like I
Wow,
said, we lost to first and seventh. Like we weren't meant to get that far. We made two big upsets to get there.
that's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be really
And that's
nice
one
to
of the
see
most
both you
stacked
and
doubles
Eduport.
tournaments in a while. Like I think top eight is like we could definitely top 16. I think top eight is like a doubles goal for Edgepork
Hmm.
and I now after that.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
It's nice to see what's it called. That Edupop is also playing Captain Falcon. A nice bit of variety for the team because just been seeing Falcos and Star Fox on my team for quite a bit. So getting
That's
to
gonna
post a
yeah,
different,
that's those are popular characters. You're gonna see
yeah.
a lot of them.
I need to get used to that.
Yeah, when people play Melee, that's the characters they think about
Yeah.
are Falco and Fox.
Hmm. Yeah, my designers for Oasis, he's getting sick of it. He's like, oh, do we have to do another Falco post? I was like, yes. Do."
Yeah.
Yeah, he does the X09, he does the banners. But yeah,
This is
I'm currently covering the other stuff, but yeah, he's doing a really good job on the Twitter banners he makes. He's currently
yeah.
making your one as well as we speak, so
Hell yeah! I don't even.
yeah.
I think my Twitter picture right now is like me in a old tournament playing Sissy Stepdad. I think that's my banner right now, so that'll be sick.
Well, you should enjoy this one. I think it's gonna turn out quite well.
Sick.
Yeah. I like the
Excited. I don't
pattern
even
as
know,
well.
so I'm excited to find that out.
So the pattern on the back wall is custom. So not only does it have like your waist and stuff and everything, it's also got like Doctor Lame and different text as well. So
Oh yeah,
that'd be cool. I
awesome.
really think it's nice. What's it called? I think it's good for any org to like give them the resources, of course, to rep the brand as well, and to look good repping the brand. I
Yeah,
think
yeah. You don't want to
that's
look
important.
shit repping the brand because it
Yeah.
hurts the brand and makes it hurts you. It doesn't want to.
Hmm.
You don't want to rep the brand if the merch or the banners or the overlays and stuff don't look good. So
Exactly. Yeah.
yeah,
I'm a big fan of you have to learn the skill as well. Because what's cool, when I first started this team like 2 years ago, I've been doing different kinds of stuff. It used to be a content team, not a esports team,
yeah,
like for content creators. And what I found was it's a lot better. What's it called, to learn the skill yourself because it saves you a lot of money in the long run. Like taught myself Photoshop, and I taught myself a few stuff with like streaming.
yeah,
And then what's it called, you have to pay so much better to teach yourself the skill. But yeah.
yeah,
But yeah, I think that's it for questions for me. I think it is your
yeah.
turn.
So I asked that question about like the future and like the number of players question,
Hmm.
and I like the answer and the idea for that. I think, and then the content I kind of snuck in. So I kind of snuck in some of my questions, but I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
if you give me a second, I do have one other question. I was like trying to
Okay.
think about what it was again. So the other two were the doing that content piece, like a couple more content pieces as a team together, and then
Hmm.
like the having seven players on a team. But I guess like, what's your like because you want another ultimate player. And
Yeah.
then what are your thoughts about have like because if we go to events, we could like share hotel rooms and stuff like that. We could all travel together.
Yeah.
So if we got like if we rented like an Oasis van
That would be sick. Yeah, that would
to
be so
travel to
cool.
events or something like that, that'd be sick and get all your players at events. But I guess like I got a lot of the questions I had in terms of the 7 players on the team, the future of the team. But I guess like one question that's always there is like where do you see the team in 2 years? What other games do you want to go into? What do you hope for the rosters that you have, etc.
2 years. Well,
So
as
let's
you
say
know, I've
two
been really
years.
pushing for the team to be quite more popular, of course. I do want it to be quite a big thing. I feel like, the bigger we are, the more resources we have, and, the more we can help our players. We want to go to like a
Yeah,
massive event, we've got you covered, of course. We want like a gaming house, of course. I really want a gaming house for the team. I've wanted it for like years. I think it would be sick, Hell, I want to live in Maine, to be honest. Now, I feel like that's on the road, but yeah, I think it'd be cool. I think it'd be nice to actually be in the region because then I could actually go to the lands and stuff.
yeah, that'd be more of a long term thing. Like maybe when the
Yeah,
housing market crashes, you could,
taking advantage. Okay, I see you. Good idea.
yeah,
But yeah, I do want to get back into Apex. Big fan of Apex. I was currently on Apex, right? But we did our Apex players. Two of them was called. One of them got seriously ill or something, and
yeah.
his other player didn't respond. So it was just Cyber currently, and then I don't know what Cyber was doing. He didn't seem that interested. So I was like, "You want to be a content creator?" And then he eventually just left. And I was like, "Okay." It happens, of course, and a big thing I want to see is, of course, more content for the team. Um, but that we're talking 2 years, aren't we? So, um,
Yeah. I picked that time because it's not too long,
it's
but
so
it's also
weird. It's
not. It's
such a
like
weird
kind of.
thing
It's
to
just a
think of.
little bit far away, you know.
I
Like
can't really
5 years
envision
is
it.
5 years.
Yeah,
You can
yeah,
say
yeah.
anything because 5 years is far away, but
Exactly. Yeah. So I don't know where to start from. Like 5 years. I mean, hey, I used to have like a huge roadmap. I used to post on Twitter and stuff about this.
yeah,
Oh, we're gonna do this. We're gonna do that. But
yeah,
because of Team Oasis coming back so quickly, because like when Bandits post came back to me was like, "Do you want Bandits again?" And I was like, sure, okay. I was like, you know what, we're gonna rebrand to Team Oasis. And
yeah,
I got his permission, but he was like, sure. And the one thing he said to me was, cool, make sure to keep the Smash Mania players because that's the only thing keeping the team going. And I was like, okay. And that's what I did. I made it my goal. I said, what's it called? Eventually, these guys will want money, so eventually, that's what I did. Um, it's really an interesting scope right because currently I'm the only owner of the team, so it's gonna be
yeah,
a good one. To be honest, I quite like working on my own right now, so I don't really want to make the team what's it called, like too corporate. Not a
yeah,
big fan of like the kind of corporate kind of approach. Um, I mean it depends really. I don't want to make it too large, of course. I want to have the ability to make changes without fucking up the team, of course.
yeah. Like finding that like right balance where you want to stay
Yeah.
probably on the smaller
Hmm.
end, but like a popular, still popular.
Exactly.
That's gonna be.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's yeah. It'll be hard to like find
Hmm.
that balance because there are decisions you can make that will make the org bigger, but will ruin like the vibe that you want for the org.
Yeah.
So that'll be interesting going forth. Like, what are those
There's a
decisions gonna end
slogan
up being?
I used to use, right? And it used to be called the Paradise for Gamers. Like tropical, of course. But
Yeah, no, that's sick.
yeah. I want that slogan to be real. I want it to be like,
Yeah,
proper. I want like people to like be in the team right and kind of, just feel like they're actually gaming, not like, they're part of a job or something. I still
yeah,
want it
no,
to be
that's
like
sick.
somewhat of, a serious landscape, but I also want it to be, I want it to be quite chill. Um,
Yeah. So to like connect to that, like you're young, like
hmm.
these are the dreams of a young 18-year-old
Yeah.
UK man, he him pronouns.
Yes. Yeah, yeah, it's
Yeah,
correct.
young UK man. Like, do you ever see
Hmm.
yourself moving out of esports, or has this been like a passion since you were for a long time already?
This has been a passion for like about 2 years now.
Two
I've always
years.
been interested in gaming, of course. I've been a content creator for a few years now. I used to be slightly bigger, I guess. I was on a decently sized org, Team Zyder. Um, and that's kind of what got me into esports in the first place. That rabbit in the background.
That's my cat Luna.
Oh,
She
I
wants
thought
to
I
go
saw like
out,
the
but
ears. I was like, oh, it looks like a
she's really
rabbit.
small and does kind of look like a rabbit.
Oh.
But she's kind of upset right now because she's still in here. But we're over soon, so we'll be fine.
Okay.
I just didn't want to get up and open the door.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, what's it called? It's like, what's I saying? Man, I
You were
forget
talking
so easily.
about
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you were talking about how you're a content creator for 2 years. And I asked about like
Hmm.
if you ever see yourself moving out of esports or like,
Yeah,
yeah,
I do want to invest in other stuff, of course. I mean, an energy drink would be cool. But I want to work on a like food and drink company that it makes, food that is, tastes nice, of course, but it'd be like a restaurant, of course, right? Like a shop, you can go to, it'd be like Domino's, right?
yeah,
Or Subway, but it's actually healthy. You walk in there, right?
yeah,
But it tastes nice as well, you know? That's what I want.
yeah,
So I want you to walk in, right? Yeah, and it'd be like, oh, what's it called? You ever had like protein pancakes or like a milkshake or something like
yeah,
that kind of stuff? What's it called? It like or like the guilt-free food, of course. I feel like guilt-free food would be amazing. I want it to be like less of like a thing. Oh, what's it called? You got to be on a gym thing or something. I want it to be more like, oh, I'm going very well because the food tastes nice. Oh,
yeah. Like
because I feel like
I
there's a
want
lot of
fast
shit in
food, but
foods. But
I
yeah,
don't want to like feel bad eating it. So
exactly.
yeah,
Yeah. I'm a
yeah.
big
No, it's
person who's against like these energy drink companies and esports. Like I think it's cool, right? But I feel like it's not really the right thing for gamers. I feel like I think there's a performance level between diet, and gaming.
yeah.
Yeah. Um. But yeah,
No, that's cool.
definitely. What's it
I
called?
like hearing that like you have these passions.
Hmm.
Um, it's definitely like advice from someone who's 24 Chaso, and that's what I'm doing with my PhD. And like you can still like I can still get good at melee and still chase my PhD.
It's
You can
amazing that you
start a
can juggle both.
company,
It's
work a
great.
job, and
Yeah.
work on Oasis. Like you don't. It's just more
Hmm.
like balancing. Like you have to have the
Yeah.
passion for it. I think is the main thing. If the passion's not there, you
Hmm.
can't find the time. When the passion's there,
Yeah.
you'll always find the time. But the passion can't be for the purpose of making money because that's not going to motivate you
Exactly.
long term
Yeah.
unless you're like a crazy person like Jeff Bezos and you're willing to sell other people's souls to the gold mines.
Yeah.
But
I mean, I'm sure he did enjoy it at one point, but of
yeah,
course.
maybe I think,
Yeah.
but I think he always enjoyed money more than
Hmm.
like that's his passion, his bigger number, or maybe that switch. Like at some point he was making so much money, it was like, oh, this feels really
Yeah.
good.
I
Yeah,
mean, it does amplify your personality in the end, of course, that kind of stuff.
yeah,
But yeah. Um. Yeah.
that's
It's
just good.
like I feel like Oasis, what's it called? I want it to be somewhere, but I don't know how to describe it because Team Oasis is quite a interesting brand because it's multiple brands. I'm sure you've heard of Troposcope, the
Yeah, yeah.
platform, Blue Skirmish Development League. I want to work on Ocean Abyss this year. Get some of you guys on there. This will be a thing where we talk about like random scenarios. What would you do in a zombie apocalypse? It's kind of like a spin-off to the podcast, but yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's cool. Yeah. Give us debate
Um,
things that are silly.
yeah, but it's gonna be a good little show. I've tested it before. It's got good promise, but we have to see how
I
that
look forward to
goes.
that. I love debate, like arguing silly things or talking about silly
Hmm.
things in like serious ways. So I look for that. I
Yeah,
think like Catfish, Thrumbut, and I would be insane for that. We're all insane. We all have insane
we could make that
opinions,
work. Could
and
make that
we
work.
vibe
Yeah.
with each other.
Hmm.
Ellis says the Thrumbut says the craziest things sometimes, and
Oh my.
you just have to be like, "Yep, I think he believes that." But
Yeah, what's it called? What else was I talking about? I think there was one other thing, but I want to do a lot of holiday videos with awards. I think I mentioned this in chat before, but I think holiday videos would be great. I feel like no other team is approaching these kind of stuff, and I mean at the end of the day, I just want this org to be a profitable org. I feel like that's the achievement that no org has really hit. Like you see all these orgs, like what's it called, like investing millions and stuff, right, and then get nothing back for it. I want to give my
yeah,
players a great salary, right, but not go bankrupt.
yeah,
Amazing salary. And then what's the call? As long as all the bills are getting paid, everything, it's fine. I'm not like like oh shit, I'm on -£500 a month. Um, but yeah, that's my vision for the future. The whole goal, right, is
oh,
to
sick.
make it good enough to replicate, of course, like move on. I do want to like walk out of the esports space, but keep Oasis intact. So eventually, what's it called? I will have a brand that's outside of esports, like I said about
Yeah.
the food or drink thing or something. But yeah, it's like maybe. I mean, I've always liked space, but yeah, I don't really think that's like anything close in the future.
Asteroid miner super phase.
Maybe, who knows? Oasis to the moon, eh? Have you heard
Yeah.
of that hashtag? You've seen the hashtag, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've seen that hashtag. I'm not a big crypto guy, so I kind of don't like it because I don't like crypto.
Ah,
But I think it's still funny.
the reason why it's called Oasis to the moon is because our logo is a moon. Noticed by on the
Ah,
O
that
on
that
the
makes
theme.
sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think in like 5 years it'll be fine to use.
Hmm.
Once we move,
Yeah.
once
No one
crypto
will
is
know.
fully dead.
No one will know.
Yeah, no
Yeah.
one will know. It'll
Exactly.
just, oh, it's just a way to the moon.
Hmm.
It's not whatever
Yeah.
crypto thing it was to the moon. I
Like,
can't
what's that?
remember.
What's that? Don't even know what
Yeah,
it is.
yeah,
Yeah. Um. And back to what you were saying about the same rosters. I want to talk about question one again. Really, I feel like question one. I feel like the roster sizing, of course, is really important for the
yeah,
team. I want more content creators, of course. Um, Content creators are really important to a team. I don't think most teams realize how good it is to have a streamer on your team. I mean,
yeah,
I'm a streamer myself, so I understand the importance of it. And it's really hard to find content creators for Oasis, but if we do find some, I'll be more than happy to take some on. So that is
yeah.
my
It'd be cool if it was
next
like a
plan for
content
next week.
creator who was like in the Smash scene and knew how to like and like could help with like making Smash related content with the Smash players.
I really want to get our other content creators involved though with you guys. I
Yeah,
want it to be like, just because you don't play the same game, of course,
yeah,
you're still connected, you're still part of the family. But yeah, I feel like it's I don't know I don't know how you say it, but it's like I'm just trying to create a community that's, not linked to one game, of course. Because games
yeah,
come and go as well. And it's not, I don't want to bite myself into a corner. I feel like that's an important thing to do. But yeah. Ultimate Players, what's it called? I made a post today about that.
yeah.
The
Like
third
maybe a third
slot,
one.
and people are already picking their ideas, and like, I don't know who to pick, really. I'm gonna kind of leave it open for a bit, just to generate
Yeah,
hype, of course. And see if anyone DMs me. But
yeah.
yeah,
This is me.
I
I'm gonna plug Shard. I don't know if he will, but he's or Danila.
hmm.
Those would be my calls, but I don't know if either of them will. But
I think I did message Shard recently,
yeah,
but yeah, I never got a reply back.
just say Dr. Lame is requesting. He's just waiting.
Bro is literally calling for him.
Yeah. I used to we played a pep band together and there's like an we both play
Yeah.
snare drum and there's like an older snare drum, younger snare drum in each of the band,
Hmm.
like a mentor mentee mechanic there, and I was his mentor. And it was funny because I was number one in melee, he was number one in ultimate. We're the two snare drummers in the
Hmm.
pep band, like for the hockey games and the basketball
Yeah, yeah,
games.
yeah.
So it was cute.
I've been following the Ultimate PR for quite a bit of time, and I've noticed what's
Yeah.
cool that Shard and Excellency have been battling it out for quite a bit of time, and now
Yeah.
Excellency has just taken that first slot, so it's interesting how it's going to play out in the future. I really do
Yeah.
like watching that kind of stuff. It's just nice to see what's it called. Um, the competitiveness. I'm quite a competitive person.
Yeah.
Um, and I like seeing. What I really like seeing is that the little tournament banners people make. The ones with the character there, character there, character there. I love seeing those. It's nice when a tournament
Yeah.
organizer actually puts work into that kind of stuff. Being a
Yeah.
tournament organizer myself, it's like that's good.
No, that's sick.
Yeah. I think that's it.
Yeah, man. I think I'm good with those two questions as well.
Hmm.
I'm getting hungry.
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks for coming, man. It's been great having you on the podcast.
Yeah, and I
Yeah.
hope to do more things for Oasis and be part of more things and
Of
start my
course.
stream back up. So come follow
Hmm.
me on Twitch and Twitter and follow Team Oasis.
That was our amazing guest, Dr. Lame. Yeah, I believe that was all. And yeah, check them out, and we'll see you next month with another new guest. That was me, your
everyone.
host, Superphase. Yeah, bye.